think in our culture today, everything is so fast-paced. Technology, things are always beeping and flashing and alerts are going off. And everyone's in a hurry. I feel like we always feel like we're behind. It makes me such a calmer person.
I can feel grounded wherever I am.
And there's more and more research to support the effectiveness of it.
It gives me more of a graceful way of getting through life.
A kind of watershed moment came for me years ago. It was near the end of the semester. I could see how stressed out the students were. And one student just blurted out that she didn't love art anymore, that she majored in art because she loved it. This was a freshman, and now she hated it. There were so many projects due, and she felt like faculty were piling up the work without any real sense of engagement in what she was doing. Started a discussion in class, and I realized a lot of students are feeling that way. I think the school environment has changed over the years. I've been teaching for about 30 years now, and certainly, the rise of social media, which means that students are more connected in many ways, but also more distracted. I think the pace of change has accelerated. Students now are more conscious than they used to be about things like career and getting ahead and always thinking of the next step, which I think can be counteractive to leading a more fulfilled life. If you're always thinking of the next step, well, then you're not attentive to what's happening now.
One of the things that's been a major focus for me over the last maybe 10 or 12 years is what we're calling contemplative education. Students who feel more in control of their own emotions and less stress are more productive in class and more engaged. Students that don't feel like they have to depend on somebody else or on a substance to help them calm down, they can have those tools within them.
I usually don't call it meditation when I introduce it to the students, because I think that has certain associations that some might be resistant to or not understand. I just say we're going to do a focusing exercise.
At the beginning of every class, 2 or 3 minutes of seated meditation. Gradually work that up to 8 or 10 minutes.
I want them to sit up straight, feel their spine, feel their feet in contact with the ground, relax their shoulders, maybe move around a little bit, and close their eyes, and to focus on their breathing.
And what I find is the students really appreciate it.
On December 16th, 2012, I was in Ecuador in the Amazon rainforest. I just was on this trip, and one night I was given this, it's called ayahuasca. It's a really strong hallucinogenic, but I didn't know that I was being given it. I was just very naive. What ended up happening was I just had a complete mental breakdown. For the next year, I was just in a very, very terrified place, and I had no coping skills at all. And one of my therapists recommended that I try a yoga class.
Yoga just makes you happy. It's, no matter what mood you come in to a room, after that hour, 90 minutes, whatever it is, you're gonna feel completely different.
After the first yoga class, I felt good for 10 minutes after the class, and I hadn't felt good in probably 4 months.
And I explored so many different types of yoga, completely different things, and it was almost like this pull and snowball effect of I was like, oh my god, I craved it.
Yoga has improved my quality of life by so many ways.
So I was kind of hooked, but I also thought it was really weird, so I wouldn't tell anybody that I did yoga. I only went once a week, but then as time went on, I started meditating and I started to go more often, and I stopped caring about what people thought because I loved it so much.
And it became like my main reason for getting up in the mornings.
So I started doing yoga honestly because I just heard it was like a good thing to do on your days off from working out.
Yoga was the first thing I did that was just my own choice, you know. You go to high school because you're supposed to go to high school, and I went to college because I felt like I was supposed to go to college. And then I was not fulfilled. So somehow, I said, it was very sudden that I was just I'm going to become a yoga teacher. I joined a teacher training program, and when I completed it, I felt I accomplished something on my own for the first time. I've accomplished so many other things, but for some reason, this one felt like it was all me, you know? It was me from start to finish. And it just kind of made me feel like I could do anything, and I was in control of my own life, and that I could do anything that I wanted.
Eating undistracted, slowly, paying attention on purpose to what's going on in your body, how food is affecting you. So for someone who's brand new to the whole concept of mindful eating but wants to start to practice it, I would say the first step is to ask yourself the question, am I hungry? We probably are often finding ourselves starting to eat when maybe we're not even hungry. Maybe we're bored, or maybe we're sad, or maybe we're lonely. So if we're eating because we're super stressed out, we're not actually addressing the source of the stress. And then assuming the answer is yes, I am hungry, the next step would be to slow down. There's something that I love to teach called the sacred pause. So you have your food, and normally we sit down, we have food, we just dive right into it. To take a sacred pause, which means you pause for about 20 seconds. A good way to do that is to take a deep breath, feel your body, feel your feet on the floor, feel your seat on the chair or wherever you are. Maybe you even say a prayer of gratitude or some thanks for your food, just acknowledgement that you're about to nourish yourself. And then start to eat from that place. And then to continue that pace of just slow eating. And then to stop every, few bites, 5 bites, 10 bites, and just check in. What's going on? How hungry or full am I? I think of everyone as falling at some point on this continuum. On one end is mindless. That means eating while we're on the computer, eating while we're reading, watching TV, driving. You're just eating stuff, you're feeling a certain way, you're not thinking about what's going on in your body. The other end of the continuum is obsessive. And obsessive is you're consumed by, maybe it's counting calories, maybe it's eating the perfect vegan diet. So anyway, we have these two extremes, and our culture loves extremes. Right in the middle is mindful.
Does this look good? This is the oat and honey.
Is that how you get it? Oh, my plate is empty. I didn't have anything.
When I was about 20 or so, I decided to go raw vegan, like strict raw vegan. At first it was great. I felt really well. But at some point it got out of balance. My body was giving me all the signs. But at the time I was so tunnel vision, like this is the way. You know, I was watching all these videos online and reading articles, and if something was wrong, I'm like, I'm not raw enough. And of the long story is it just took me down this road that led to lots of disordered eating, lots of problems with my health. And mindfulness and coming back home to myself has been my saving grace.
A lot of people think about mindfulness as just seated meditation, but really mindfulness is a way of living and a way of being, whether it's walking, whether it's teaching a class, whether it's being a student in a class, whether it's eating, you do it all mindfully.